Okay, so yeah, podcast and stuff.
You going straight into it?
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds about right.
Good
Yeah.
evening.
Hello.
Zero's a
Hello.
fucking loser.
You're finding this out now?
Mm. Okay. What the fuck else do I have to talk about aside from Holocure? Man, view's
I
great
mean,
from this glass house. I swear.
if you,
uh,
I don't know, have you done other things this week?
uh, kind of. Uh, the doctor gave me a more, near appointment. That was Wednesday, so that whole thing got sorted. Yay!
That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Uh,
Uh, I tried to get back into the Bleach gacha, and I had forgotten how to play it so thoroughly that I just uninstalled it again immediately afterwards. Um,
Was it Brave Souls or Heroic Souls or something?
Brave Souls, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good, but I don't remember how to play it, and I was nearing the inventory cap for things, and I don't remember what I was doing with those things when I was clearing them out, and how I was clearing them out to make room for new things.
Yeah.
Uh, and that is the point where you're like, I'm okay, thanks. I'm good. Yeah.
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 Better than wasting whatever you were collecting, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't even know whether I'm not gonna go back to it.
Yeah.
It was a good time back then, and I don't know. Um, there was a thing that I saw recently. Well, okay, I'm I'm going to cite Asmongold, and I'm gonna say, hey, he's a fucking piece of shit when it comes to politics. Anyway, video games, like
Mm.
his opinion on how the whole live service gotcha thing works is pretty on point. Of like, hey, FOMO is great for getting people to stay in the ecosystem, but as soon as they break away, it has the exact opposite effect. It pushes people out. It is a barrier both ways.
Mm.
Yeah. That's accurate.
So, you know, you fall off for a little bit. You're like, I am no longer tethered to this quite as tightly as I was. So, I may or may not end up just not bothering anymore. Or I will take a break for a little bit and see how I feel when I'm a little bit more enthusiastic about it. Absence makes the heart, etc. And then you take a break for a week, and a week becomes 2 weeks, and you realize, oh, I missed an event, didn't I? Ah, shit. There was like a welfare character, and I didn't get them because I was taking a break. Ah, fuck this game. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I've not been playing FGO at all.
I have.
For that reason, or
I can't make myself do it anymore.
That's fair.
Just I can't bring myself to be like I gotta log in every day. I gotta do the thing every day. No.
I mean, I'm sat at my computer anyway, so it's like, hey, open the thing, uh, turn your stamina into the blue apples that they added recently, so you can just bank your stamina forever, and close it again. And that's my day for that. That's it.
yeah, it makes
Mm.
sense.
Until things actually happen that require me to spend stamina. Because I am at the point in that game where I don't really need to do much. There isn't much upgrade left to get.
Mm.
So, you know, it is legit just trophy's not the right word, but like upgrades for the sake of gratification of getting all the upgrades and making all the numbers look nice.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. That's where I'm at now. I don't really have to like ugh. It is the downside of the way FGO works that it is a solvable game.
Yes.
So, yeah. Still alright though. I am looking forward to the story actually finishing sort of next month. So, uh
And I also disagree with a lot of Asmongold's opinions, but if it's about a topic that is inherently cynical, I think he's a valid source. because that's kind of his bread and butter, or at
Dude
least
knows video
was
games.
maybe.
He's not
Yeah.
great when it comes to story of video games, but dude knows video games. He knows the systems, he knows the industry, he knows how all this shit works.
Hmm.
So, on that, he is a worthwhile person to look at for insights, let's call it.
Hmm.
In other gacha news, I tried the JJK gacha. It is a gacha.
Oh.
It is poorly translated, presumably because it's by a Chinese company, which might mean that it went from Japanese to Chinese, back to Japanese, and then to English. So
Yeah, makes sense.
it is a gacha ass gacha, which does all of the gacha things that you know as soon as the game started, it had a step up banner. So apparently it does interesting things with the characters, and that they are very thematic to who the characters are. So like there is a Gojo character that is like the super rare variant, whatever the fuck 5 stars, ultra rare, whatever you want to fucking call it, fucking naming conventions, I swear to God. But yeah, he is super powerful, but he is only in the fight for 7 turns, and then on the 8th turn he gets called away for an emergency and fucks off.
Hmm.
That's funny.
And there is a counterpoint in Nanami who is shit for the first 7 turns, and then for the 8th he becomes a superpowered beast. Like that's some cool nods, because that's his thing is like overtime powers and stuff like that. So it's got some neat ideas, but it's still a gotcha ass gotcha that is kind of very similar to FGO, and I don't want to play another one of those. I have gone on record about my distaste for turn-based games in general, when they are not... There is something special required of a turn-based RPG, party RPG, whatever, for it to keep my interest. And it doesn't have that. Neither does FGO, in fairness, but,
Did FGO at one point, or was it always just kind of a time waster for you?
Well, here's the thing about FGO. I don't have to play it. As in, I can just set up a macro to do all of the things that the, fight requires, because it is always exactly the same. Like I said, it's a solvable game. And it just runs, and I don't have to look at it and can do something else while it does the fight for me.
As somebody who doesn't use macros, it's just a time waster. Like, I don't have the time to do any of this. I'd rather go play a different game.
If I didn't have the macros ready and working, I wouldn't be playing it anymore. I would have stopped a long time ago.
Entirely fair.
But yeah, that's the fucking gotcha shit. ZZZ is still very good.
Yes,
Still nice.
I've been enjoying my time with it.
It is nice that it does not require a massive time investment to get stuff done. I have memories of Genshin Impact where it took like about an hour and a half maybe to do the daily shit that it wanted you to do.
Yeah, daily take no time at all.
And yeah, in this you can literally knock that out in about a minute and a half to do the daily tasks, and then spend your stamina, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, that you can actually up the...
And it does bank it as well for you, yes.
Yeah, you can up the amount of stamina that you use in a grinding thing to just get more of the thing.
Yeah. It just makes the fight a little bit more difficult, which is not a factor in... it's... At some point, an extra enemy or two does not make much of a difference at all.
Yeah.
It is very nice in how it doesn't try to waste my time.
And the next character, one of the next characters coming out is just Virgil.
Let's not overstate it.
Okay, but
if you're talking about
what they were
that
going.
is not true.
No, I'm talking about Miyabi,
Oh, okay.
who literally has a judgment cut as one of her attacks. It's kind of insane.
Let's be real. She's Raiden A from Genshin. That's who she is.
I wouldn't say. There's
Yeah.
Raidens are special. They are Raidens.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So that's a nice pleasant game to play.
Mhm.
And okay, I guess we can talk about HoloCure now. That's still a really good game. I am very much along with all of the many other people who would very much like to give KU money.
Is the game free, or can you?
It's
can you...
free, yeah. It is a Hololive fan project, which Hololive did actually talk to him about making it an official game project, and they would sell it and he would get money for it and all that stuff. And he said no, because if it became well, for one, he very specifically says, hey, this is just something I do in my spare time for fun, which sounds insane on many levels for the amount of work that it is and the amount of work he already does. He's like an animator in like the industry of like, hey,
Worked on River City Girls.
yeah, he does a lot of professional animation work as his day job, which, let's remember, that is kind of a bullshit industry that is a like nightmare to work in. I do actually know someone who worked in animation, as in Japanese animation, as in worked on Danmachi and a couple of other things. Horror stories is a way to put it. But yeah, that's his day job, and then he does this as like spare time fun, I guess. It's insane. But the other reason being, if it was an official project, then the Hololive would get oversight, and he would probably be asked to remove characters that leave the company, and they would have like notes on, hey, we would rather you didn't make this reference to this very sexually explicit thing that this character is known for. If that's okay, it's okay, because we're telling you this is how it's going to be, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is the kind of oversight that he didn't want, because it's his fucking game.
It becomes more of a job when someone is telling you how to do it as well. So if that's his idea of relaxing, is sitting down and coding for 12 hours straight, sure.
I can say one thing for like probably true is they probably wouldn't have let him put a complete Jump King clone in the game.
What?
Yeah. That is the thing.
Okay, how far has that game come since I last touched it? My goodness.
Let's see. Well, there are, in terms of characters, there is English Gen 1 and 2, Indonesian Gen 1, 2, and 3, which I think is all of them. I'm not entirely sure, though, so don't quote me on that. I'm not big on those. Japanese Gen 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Gamers thing, which is where most of the people you probably know from the Japanese side come from. And it has 5 stages and hard mode variants of those stages. It has an Animal Crossing style, like, just sort of design your own home kind of thing. It has animal rearing in terms of, like, the fans are, just sort of harvestable in terms of coins, and you feed them and take care of them, and they give you money back. You can grow food and cook it to give bonuses and levels. There is a fishing minigame. There is the Jump King that I mentioned, was just added. There is a casino, which also was just added. There is a crafting and gathering sort of area that is a little bare bones, but it's a thing that they added to the game also. There's a lot of stuff in the game. Oh, and they have what is basically a Chow Garden also as well.
Well, those are fun.
So, the fan raising thing is also now turned into you can race them and have them fight each other and train them for combat.
I mean, I want to say that's barbaric. And then I realized that the fans of Hololive would be happy to do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's just realistic.
Yeah. So that's all the stuff that's in the game currently at 0.7.
Not even a full release.
Nope.
All right. This man is crazy.
A little bit. Yep. So, there's like there's 2 more English gens and I think 3 more Japanese, or maybe 4, I can't remember. And that'd probably be a complete roster. Except he wants to add Hollow Stars as well, which is the male branch. So, yeah, dude just kind of keeps going. More power to him, I guess. I'm certainly not complaining, except for the part where I can't give him money. Like,
there is that.
It has been floated of like, hey, you could start a Patreon or something. It's like, no, I don't want to.
I have to imagine it's for the same reason.
Yeah, like, I don't care about money. I'm doing fine for money. I just want to do this for fun. Which, in fairness, he is doing fine for money. He's like a name worth recognizing in the animation industry. So
Yeah.
Which sounds a little like dismissive of other animators. Like, you know what I mean. He is a recognizable figure that is a bankable name and that sort of thing.
That's not super common to be known when you're not like the creator of something mainstream.
Or director or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game is still really fun, and it is a problem. That's pretty much all I got, though.
It's kind of exciting to see how much it's grown.
Yeah, I have to assume it's just kind of a matter of giving it time.
Yeah, this update took, I think it was August of last year that the previous update came out, which seems like a long time until you remember that he made an entirely different fan game that was like a fighting game in between.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude's cooking.
Anyway, who else wants to go?
I can go, I guess.
Oh, yeah?
Let's see. A lot of grading this week. It was a short week because Veterans Day. So, yeah, no, that was pretty, I would say easy. Though I did get sick over the weekend. Went to the doctor at the start of an ear infection plus my regular migraines. So I had like 7 hours of just puking my guts out on last Friday. Not like the Friday before last, rather.
Yeah, ear infections can just kind of give you migraines and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that is a thing
I'm feeling a little bit better now. I still have a headache right now, actually.
That's rough.
But I got a whole thing of 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, a capsule. Take these pain meds. Yay.
800 is quite a bit, actually.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I think that's double the normal dose. I've got a box here.
I mean, I have some like prescription grade extra strength one. It's like 500.
Yeah, it's
so
200 milligrams, so 400 is the usual dose for just standard over the counter.
Yeah.
So you're taking double.
So aside from that,
remember to eat with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been very careful about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, class is doing better ever since I unlocked my next level of teacher voice, which is me putting an amount of intensity into my voice where they will actually listen. It can get very overwhelming with 39-year-olds all chatting and not listening. So you have techniques that you have to use and attention getters and stuff like that. But aside from just the teaching stuff, there was a new patch that dropped for Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah, I haven't played that in a while.
Which added the ability to store entire outfits as glamours that only take up one slot in your glamour dresser. Which is really good. However, they need to be all of the same set, and it's only some that the feature's available for, and you also need to have everything in the set to do it. So, I mean, helpful. But also new story content and new alliance raids and new hard difficulty EX fight or extreme. And the Viper weapons that you get out of that EX are lightsabers. They are green lightsabers.
Well,
I'm very happy.
Pretty great.
Okay.
I'm happy. I got lightsabers. I wanted lightsabers in the game for a very long time, but I got them now. Which, speaking of which, that fight is tough, and partially because you have to coordinate. And there's a part, I was talking to Slicer about this earlier, there's a part where there are bridges made of ice that form. There's 4 bridges. Now there's 8 in a full party. If more than one person crosses a bridge at the same time, the bridge breaks and you both fall to your death. Now, there's an order to this. There's a way that you can do this every time without fail, consistently. However, this is a new fight. So I've had multiple cases of both healers going on the same bridge and dying, and we have to start all over because we have no healers. So that has been fun. The alliance raid is FF11 stuff, and I have some die-hard FF11 friends who were geeking out over it. It was really fun to see. And as for the story itself, it's pretty okay. I mean, it's nothing I like. There's some stuff that's teasing, and I've got some questions about it, but it's good. It's good. It's a good patch. I'm happy with it. New enhancements, new job balances. They nerfed Dark Knight in PvP. I'm so happy.
Was it
so happy?
Way too good before.
So here's the thing about Dark Knight. Dark Knight has an ability called Salted Earth, which in PvP draws all enemies within a certain range right to you. It just pulls them to you.
Okay.
Now, you have a skill called Purify, which makes you temporarily immune to all like debuffs and stuff like that. However, up until this patch, Salted Earth still worked regardless of whether or not you were using Purify.
Okay, so you, as a essentially invincible person, could just yank a bunch of people toward you.
Yes, because you also had a limit break, which made you literally invincible for a period of time, which you could not die. It was a long period of time, and they got it back very quickly, so they were constantly spamming it. You're trying to play the video game, however, a bunch of Dark Knights that are invincible are yanking you around, while the other members in the back are hitting you with debuffs and attacks at the same time. You just die.
It doesn't sound like fun.
It's not when that happens. But they nerfed Dark Knights into the ground in PvP and buffed them to the heavens in PvE, which is what they needed. And Casey, you can now move while using Tenchi Jin.
I don't know what that means. Well, I know what that means, but I don't have Tenchi Jin. I'm like, that's so far away.
You're now going to have an entirely different experience than I did, because up until now, Tenchi Jin was a skill where Ninja, the most mobile class in the game, has to sit still and then push 3 buttons in sequence after pushing Tenchi Jin to do their 3 jutsus. Now, trying to do that in the middle of a fight, in the middle of trying to keep a tight, rotation going, is awful.
Ninja, now you're a black mage.
Yeah, Ninja. Don't move. I know we gave you a higher movement speed and movement skills, but don't move. Well, that's no longer an issue. I have been freed. I'm so happy. And genuinely, like, a lot of the things that they added were stellar across the board in terms of balance changes, it's really nice to see. Pictomancer is still utterly broken, but you know what? That's okay. They're artists. That they can be powerful, at least in Final Fantasy.
And nowhere else.
Ow. Yeah. I know. It was a nice game back into Final Fantasy 14 again, because I've been kind of falling off it for a while. And yeah, it's a good game, despite what other people might say who are salty about. They actually re-recorded some of the voice lines in Dawn Trail and fixed one of the worst cases of voice acting in Dawn Trail, and I'm really happy about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I said before that the issue was not like voice acting, it was voice direction, and they went back and fixed it. Because apparently the voice director had no idea as to the context of the scene, because Square Enix was that afraid of spoilers.
That's really dumb.
It is.
Yep. So that probably won't happen again. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Now there's some other cases of bad voice acting that probably need to be fixed, but one of the most egregious was fixed.
Yeah,
and it's one that happens in the final fight of Dawn Trail.
The road to redemption has been set, at least.
Yeah. It's kind of like a part where characters are supposed to be screaming, but instead they're just talking normally, and it was super weird.
Oh, yeah.
Like, an extremely emotional moment, but people were like talking conversationally. It's so jarring.
Well, it's good that they, like, in that sort of scenario, like this was pretty much a Star Wars 8 kind of scenario where people were really not. People were being shit about that whole thing.
Yeah.
And when people are being shit, it's really, really easy to dismiss criticism. We see it in pretty much everything ever at this point. Of like, hey, there are people complaining about our game / movie / TV show / whatever because it has whatever concept these people are mad at today. That means any criticism of the thing we made is just these people being shit and unreasonable about things they don't like. So we can dismiss any criticism that comes towards our thing, no matter how constructive people are trying to be. It's all bollocks. It's just the chuds, so we don't have to care. And 90% of the time it's not. Like, there usually is something behind it. Yes, people are assholes, but like, complaints happen because people are dissatisfied. And there is often more to it than simply someone being an asshole about some social issue that he doesn't like. I automatically said he because, of course, I did.
Fair.
Like, that's just the reality of it. Like, the dichotomy of Dragon Age and Baldur's Gate 3 is just kind of sitting right there of like, hey, people don't complain about it if the thing is good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it's worthless thing, even though it sucks. It sucks so much when people are just being assholes, and it's so easy to just say, oh, they're just an asshole, so I don't have to listen. But as much as it sucks to just troll through that and try and find the nugget of worthwhile criticism that is in there, you kind of have to do it. You kind of have to. Yeah. Or you're just going to kind of bury your head in the sand and not address problems that are just going to grow because you're not addressing them or thinking of them, or doubling down on them because it pisses people off who you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So
criticism usually comes from a place of a grievance, at least, even if it's maybe in bad faith. But like, it's never a good idea to just ignore those things.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they listened to the actual criticisms that mattered.
Yeah.
They also, I have to complain about this one thing is, I know that for 14 players this isn't a big deal, but for me it kind of sucks. They added a mount to the game. In order to get this mount, you have to get these orange gatherer scripts, which you get by gathering some of the hardest materials in the game and trading them in. You can get like 2,000 weekly if you do all the custom delivery stuff. And to get this mount, it requires 100,000 of those.
Okay. It's a grinding mount.
I don't like it. I want the, or you can spend 50 million. I don't have the money, but I want the buff cactuar, okay? I want the buff cactus. It's an uber buff cactus that poses with a little sparkle smile. Listen.
I mean, that's pretty
and you also pose with it when you're riding it.
I want the those buff gathering cactus. Jobs, man.
I guess I'm just gathering for like 50 weeks.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize MMO, and so, of course it's going to be insane. But still.
That's almost a year.
It is a lot. That's outrageous.
And so we were like, LMAO, you can get this in 20 hours of grinding. And I'm like, don't you talk like that.
I mean, it's it's a craft to gather amount. It is for people that will be doing that stuff anyway, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is it a kind of material that you have to farm yourself, or can you just buy the material?
You can buy the material. If you want to buy one, and I mean one, it's going for about 300,000 right now. You need 100 of that material.
Oh.
Yep.
I see.
Hardest material in the game, like you said.
You turn in. So you get mount tokens basically by purchasing with your scripts.
Mm-hmm.
You need 100 mount tokens for this thing. You can also buy mount tokens off the market board. So I guess if you just buy everything, it'll work out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, throw money at the problem. That's usually the solution.
I don't have that much money. It's so much money.
I mean, wow, how dare you be poor then?
That they're at. I'm not poor. I'm saving my money because they're adding the ability to upgrade the interior of housing to just be larger than it is on the outside, so I don't have to go buy a medium
Oh, that's
house.
nice. That's very nice.
It's not out yet, but they're gonna be adding it in like the next patch or so. And when they do that, I can just spend the money. I don't know how much it'll be. They said it'll be expensive, but I can just spend the money to be like, okay, well, I like my small plot. I'll just get the space that I want from a medium on right here without having to fight through the roulette of
If I,
housing roulette.
if I had to guess, it would be in the range of the difference between a small and medium house. If I had to guess.
No, it is literally you can upgrade the inside of your house to a medium or large house by
Yeah,
spending
that's
money.
what I mean. The price is going to be somewhere around the range of, hey,
Oh,
spend the money you would have had to spend to get a medium house
I mean
instead of small.
that would be nice because a medium costs like 20 million, and a small costs like 4 million, and then a large costs 50 million.
Yep, that sounds like it would be.
And there are some people in this game who've just hit the gill cap. Like they're capped out at 999 million.
Mm,
I am not one of those people.
Well, here's the thing about that. Those people can go and buy that mount.
it's true.
So maybe this is a you problem. Skill issue.
Maybe this is a me problem. Maybe I should just have no life.
Yeah,
Quit my job.
how dare you have a life?
um, yeah, no, it's I'm having fun getting back into it, especially with the Alliance Raid dungeon, which is again FF11 themed and actually really fun to play. It's actually pretty difficult too. So been enjoying that, and you can do that weekly to get like gear upgradey stuff, which is nice. They also made an expansion to the Novice Hall, which is the training stuff, so that new players can actually experience like much more difficult mechanics in a safe space rather than in the middle of my party.
Mm, important.
Yep.
Oh, you posted a picture. Okay.
Yes, of the buff cactus. But the addition of that is probably gonna make a difference because you get rewarded if you do all of that. You get like an experience boosting ring if you do all of the novice training hall. So hopefully,
I have never looked at that.
uh, um, the new PvP gear is also stylish. I guess sort of. It looks like you're somebody at a baseball game or a soccer game. I don't know. That's just the feel I get.
It, yeah, it kind of does. Yeah.
um, yeah, no, I was just glad. I like PvP in this game. Weird, I know, but the adjustments they made to it were fun, and I really like that I can now bully the people who don't know how to play PvP and just use Dark Knight to just be annoying. Added a bunch of silly items too, and I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, no, like it's nice to see more content from this. The in like a week or so, the new Ultimate is coming out, right? In like Thanksgiving break. And I'm probably gonna want to do that one.
Makes sense.
Just because the weapons from it are going to be sick. Specifically that one. Because this Ultimate is based around the Shadowbringer raids. And I already know what those weapons look like. I know the model they're going to be using for the Ultimate. It's some of my favorite looking weapons in the game.
I'm glad you have something to look forward to. That's great.
Yeah, I'm going to bash my head against the fight for 6 months.
Yeah, probably.
Woo!
Yeah.
I don't. It seems wild to me that this is fun. I don't play multiplayer games like that because you have to rely on other people. Other
Well,
people are dumb.
the idea, of course, is that you're playing with your friends.
Ah. How
And
often does
so
that actually happen?
most of the time for me, because I have a lot of friends who are very into the game.
That's a fair point.
I actually made an entirely new friend group from this game of people I met, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then I came into contact with another friend. I have 3 friend groups that like to play this game, so I'm always have somebody I can play with.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I could not imagine trying to do all of this solo. No offense, Casey.
No,
I
don't
know
take
you
it.
were
I mean,
like
I'm
wanting to
not
go.
gonna like take raiding seriously. That's not a thing I'm gonna do ever.
Yeah, fair enough. Hard content like that is most fun when you're just kind of just shooting the shit, you know? Like this fight's hard. We're not going to clear it today, most likely, but we can learn a little bit and have a good time.
That does sound way more enjoyable than just screaming at people who don't know what they're doing
Hmm.
Yeah, no,
and refuse to
that's
learn.
it is very much the case of like you have to be patient. Anybody who is screaming at people who don't get things right is somebody that nobody wants to raid with,
Mm.
and somebody who gets blacklisted. Like morale is the most important stat in any raid because the second people will be like, "Oh, this is impossible. I can't do this." You're not going to clear it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
I mean that was my new game stuff that I went on for a while because that was basically my entire week, other than just being a teacher and teaching children how to um, be cool gamer. No, I'm kidding. Just teaching.
You don't know how to teach that anyway.
Hey, I resemble that
Yeah.
remark.
I remembered another thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
what you
started
got?
posting stuff on FFnet again. Yay.
Ah, okay.
Welcome back.
Ooh.
How did that go?
My eyes are bleeding from the unchangeable light bulb of an interface that they have.
Yeah.
That's not great.
E Even if you turn on dark mode, it doesn't. That's only while you're reading.
There is no dark mode for the interface.
Oh, fair enough. That's rough.
Yeah, so that's, and I just copy and paste from QQ and that's fine, except it kind of screws up some of the formatting, like italics. It will decide, hey,
Yeah.
there are no spaces here for some reason. So I've got to go back and edit them in or put back in the bold formatting because it doesn't recognize that for some.
Hmm. And that's with the original file open and just scanning and fixing word by word.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's okay. It's a thing that is long overdue. So that's probably part of why it's such a ball ache. Is just I haven't updated in like I think closing on 2 years. So
Yeah, that'd do it. All right.
yeah, it's cool. It's fine. Anyway, that was all I wanted to add. Zero, did you have
Fair enough.
anything else or?
Um, I mean, uh, my dog is sick.
Oh,
That's not good.
She is getting surgery this week. It is a urinary tract infection,
mm,
Mm.
which means she is currently peeing blood.
mm-hmm.
No, it's not good. It's not good. It's really worrying.
It's not a
So,
good thing to see, that's for sure. I mean, it's not life-threatening, but still not good.
yeah, no, I'm worried about that. Trying to not think about it too much. Um, yeah, no. Oh, brain blast. Okay, I know something to talk about.
Okay.
So I decided to start playing Mario Bros. Brothership,
Okay,
the new like Mario Bros. Game, just like
Mario and
the
Luigi. Yeah.
RPG. Yeah, Mario and Luigi's. Yeah, the Mario and Luigi games, right? Mario and Luigi Brothership, and I can say that game um, is weirdly paced.
Okay.
Like really, it feels very slowly paced, and I'm not sure if I like it. Um, it's been a while since I played a Mario and Luigi game, but so far, like I'm like 4 or 5 hours in, and the visuals are great. The combat is fun though, not challenging really. And I don't know. I get the feeling like the writing has gone down, you know?
Okay.
Like I didn't play Dream Team, but like some of the last times that I've played Mario and Luigi, they've gone to some pretty interesting places with the storytelling and some pretty serious places too. Obviously it's still goofy Mario and Luigi stuff, but um it feels very villain of the week style of enemy design creation stuff.
Mm.
In terms of like you go to the island, there's a problem at the island, you go to solve the problem on the island, you link that island up to your ship, the brother ship is what I'll call it because it has a name, I just don't care to remember it. And you're trying to reunite this land that has been split apart using the kind of the tree, the connector tree that's also the mast of the ship. And as you go and connect these islands, you unlock fast travel to these islands, and you can go back and forth to these islands as like quests and stuff come up, right? And then you eventually gather enough islands, go far enough that you can find the Great Lighthouse, where you can then open the pathway to the next region and kind of connect everything further. And the ability to backtrack and have things change on previous islands is interesting and fun, but when you're backtracking, and it feels very formulaic at the moment, I guess.
Mm.
I only have like one bros move, and I feel like I would have more than that normally after beating the first like major boss of a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of doing the same bros moves and the same jump. It's give me more to work with, game.
Have you looked into like where you unlock things? I mean, I know that's kind of spoilery, but like if you're really that
It's
unsatisfied,
story related.
oh,
Yeah. And I'm doing everything on each of these islands. I'm doing everything. But I'm there's only so many times I can just hit jump over and over again and the occasional bros moves before I start to get really tired of the combat.
yeah, understandable.
Like I want more to work with here. But I'm hoping that it'll turn around. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be sad.
I mean, I imagine this will be done with the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, my RPG experience is going from metaphor to this, so
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
you can see it.
I can see how the simplicity would be a bit of an issue. Yeah.
And I was playing hard on metaphor, by the way. So
So that makes the problem worse.
yes, it makes the problem worse.
I mean, I
I'm
feel like there's
craving
an
a
easy
challenge.
fix now. Just every time that you get into a fight in Mario and Luigi, just start playing the.
If I did, okay, I'm going to do that from now on. Yeah, no, that's it for me though. Need to wait and see on that game if it actually has stuff that I will care about. Slicer, what's up?
So yeah, a fairly uh slow week, but some things have happened. Uh, I had a nice hangout yesterday with some friends, played board games. If you're into board games, there's a really nice legacy game for four people called My City. And it becomes increasingly difficult with every round. There's 24 rounds. Everyone takes about 20 minutes maybe. And you just get this grid-based map plaque that every player has. You write your name at the top, and then you put buildings in Tetris. Like the buildings are shaped like Tetris pieces, and you put them in the map based on a number of rules. So like there's the rocks on the map that you have to cover with buildings because every exposed rock by the end of the round loses points. Every exposed tile that doesn't have a building on it loses you points. If you cover a tree, they don't. Trees are the opposite of rocks. There's various ways to get points and things like. And round two implemented segregation, which was interesting. Because there's three different building colors. There's blue, yellow, and red buildings, and you get more points based on the number of same colored buildings that are touching. So segregation. So that became a fun joke for most of the night. It was quite nice.
Okay.
Gentrification. But uh, problematic jokes aside, it is a very fun game that does not take very long and is very satisfying to play. And at the end of the round, the first player gets a harmful thing to put on their map, but two victory points. The person in second gets one victory point and nothing, and then the two people that came in last get beneficial things to put on their map. So it becomes easier to win the more you lose, and I like that a lot. But so there's that. That was the good thing. I was late to that hangout session because I dropped my car off at 10:30 in the morning to get my tires replaced because my tires are looking bad. My front tires are almost bald and it's fucking winter. So that wasn't great. Uh, so I come back at 1 p.m. when they were supposed to be done with my car. I'm like, hey, we haven't even touched your car yet. So that's not great. But you're next. So hey, 45 minutes. Sure. I was friend gave me a ride and we needed to do a little shopping, so we hit up the local Walmart for some groceries and stuff while we waited. Then he dropped me back off at the car place, and they still weren't done. They hadn't touched my car yet still. Uh, and so we're 5 hours into a 2 hour job. Um, and so I'm like, hey, I have plans tonight. Can I just come pick up the car tomorrow? And they're like, we're not open, but if you just give me a call, I will come to the shop in my off time and we can meet here and I can give you your keys so you can take your car because everything's all squared away. It was already paid for. It's all online. It's just they need to do the work. So I call him this morning and he's like, yeah, we had some issues getting your back tires off. So it's still not done. So supposedly they're going to drop off my car tomorrow morning. Supposedly. So this is deeply irritating that we're going to be 2 days into a 2 hour job. I
Oh
want to
no.
be more upset about it, but like there were two mechanics at the shop. One of them and the most skilled mechanic had to be stuck on the computer all day because he was going through their systems and trying to get things working. It's just not a poorly it's a very poorly run shop, and I don't think it's the manager's response or the head mechanic rather, not even the manager, because there is no manager or sub manager. So it's just a nightmare on all fronts. But at least they're not charging me more money for it or trying to, because I would refuse that. But so yeah, that's been a massive annoyance. Um,
Sounds like it.
on a more positive note, I've been playing a game called The Planet Crafter, and similar games of the ilk of you go to a barren planet and you terraform it, and it's just a very satisfying genre. I like it a lot, actually. So, the Planet Crafter is a very simplistic game, I would say. It's very straightforward. There's no like enemies that are going to kill you. The only thing that can kill you is running out of air or food or water, which can happen and 100% do. Sometimes you just forget to bring an air tank when you explore a little further out than you did the last time, and then don't make it back. Um, but it is a very fun game, and it's like $20 full price. I've been playing a couple other ones, but fortunately and unfortunately, Planet Crafter was the best one of the genre I found so far. So it's kind of been all downhill from there. But still, it's very fun, very enjoyable. So yeah, that
Nice.
is essentially my week.
We're boring this week.
A little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
there is a reason sometimes we just don't do a podcast that week. It's
Yeah.
like 'cause we don't have anything. Not every week is interesting.
It's okay.
Okay. That's,
Words.
I guess that's wow.
Yeah.
I am so glad I've started cutting out the silences. No.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
It's 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 always neat to see how much that cuts down the length of an episode. Like an hour and a half turns into like an hour and 10 or something like that, and that can happen. That's nice. It feels like we're wasting less of people's time because we're constantly wasting people's time when they listen to us ramble for an hour or more.
They know what they're in for.
This episode is about an hour. I feel like it's going to cut down to about 40 minutes.
Probably.
So, I hope you like the podcast. Did we do the thing last time? Because it was 2 weeks ago.
Probably. Maybe. I can do it now.
It'd be a good thing to check.
Two
Well, thank
weeks
you
ago
to
was the third. We probably didn't, actually, because it was the third, so it wouldn't have gone through
thank
yet.
you to James MacArthur, Rehits at 21, Vale, Greek Guy, Ethan F, and Crossbearing for your donations on Patreon. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, sorry about the shit episode. Ah, well.
We'll get them next time. We'll do better next.
We could talk controversy,
This controversy.
Game Awards, Shadow of the Erd Trees nominated probably DLC for Game of the Year.
Oh,
That just grinds my gears, I guess.
So unconvincing.
I mean, it is kind of annoying and weird that is a thing that can happen. Like, just not even a full game, but an add-on to a game can win Game of the Year, or a remake or remaster can win Game of the Year when it came out 20 fucking years ago, and they're just milking nostalgia. Come on.
I mean, if it's if the DLC is a sizable expansion, there's an argument that can be made, because we've seen cases where DLC can be an entire game all on its own, right? And that kind of fits into the nebulous area of expansions as well, because like I would say that Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail has enough in it to be its own game. Granted, you have to get to a lot of other games to get to it, but it does have enough content to be judged.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to Game of the Year, it should be a game that they made entirely and released entirely that year, which would exclude things that are built on top of an entirely different game, or were just, half of the work was already done for them and then they just had to touch up the visuals or tweak the gameplay a little bit. I don't know. I did see a comment that was like, yeah, but if a DLC or a remake actually wins Game of the Year, then that's kind of an indictment against everything else that came out that year, rather than the praise of that one game, which isn't an invalid take, to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, I do get that, but that kind of locks out a lot of other games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it should.
It should.
That's
yeah.
kind of my point. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the controversy part of the
I don't care that much about the Game Awards, to be honest. It's not credible. It's so not credible.
To be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to them nominating Dragon Age Veilguard. That's going to be controversy. Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Should I play Veilguard?
Sorry?
Should I play Veilguard?
Did you play the other ones?
I played up to Inquisition.
From what people have told me, you might like the lore stuff that they do. The gameplay is very God of War, but shallower and slightly less sensical.
Oh no.
It is not an RPG. You don't really get to make all that many choices about anything.
But it was an RPG.
It was, but it's not. Like, it is to the level of... there are a couple of major story decisions, and aside from that, all of your options are FGO dialogue options.
No. Maybe I'll just go play Dragon Age Origins again.
I feel like that's probably a better bet.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I haven't played it in years. Yeah. I don't remember much of it.
It's still good.
Yeah. A game where you can pick an origin and it has a lasting effect on the story.
Yeah.
And your character, and your choices have lasting effects that ripple into future games.
And
or we're supposed to.
All of the setting actually matters instead of just kind of shaving off the bits that are awkward, like the whole elven racism, the mage problems, Kunari, and you can be an elf. You can make an elf protagonist, and you spend a lot of time in the game into Winter. And I feel like for any fan of Dragon Age, that kind of says all that needs to be said. It's just, ugh. I guess the implication is that they solved both racism and slavery into Winter between Game 1 and Game 4 off-screen.
Hell of a thing to solve off-screen.
Yeah. Like, as a subject matter, that one wasn't really addressed by any of the game. Like, the Mage and Templar thing, that was a big deal in 3. And 2. And won. Like that was an ongoing plot thread for that, but the whole elf thing they didn't really touch. And it should be really important in 4 for a lot of reasons. It's not though. It's...
Dragon Age.
Ah well. Looking forward to Mass Effect 4 or 5, depending on how you count them. It's going to be special.
I don't want to care about Dragon Age. Don't make me care about Dragon Age. I'm already having myself move on mentally.
What the fuck are they going to do for Mass Effect anyway?
Nothing. They should do nothing.
I mean, there's already implication from the trailer that teaser, let's call it, not trailer, of like, hey, Liara's still in it, so it's contemporary to the other games, and she finds an N7 like plate, which probably means Shepard exists. So I don't know how you square that circle between 3 and whatever this is going to be.
I don't know.
Poorly, I imagine. I don't have a lot of trust left.
Yeah, it'll be poorly.
I mean, they've already proven that they have just decided, that whole like lasting choice and consequence thing, oh, fuck that, it's not worth it. So I guess they're just gonna pick a canon ending, and that's just gonna be that. So
yeah, I mean that was gonna be the case if they continued the series. Like, I'm not surprised.
yeah.
I don't think there would be a feasible way to continue the series with all of them being canon, even if they were very similar.
Ah, well. And that concludes the controversy and grousing and complaining part of the podcast. You know, I felt bad like 20 minutes ago about how shit this episode was. It's not getting better. It's just not.
No, I mean, if
my attempts to make something worthwhile for us to talk about has sunk like a fucking ship that sinks. Those are words.
Yep,
God.
those were words.
Oh.
No, with a little bit of time, if I would have been known I was supposed to bring a topic to complain and bitch about, I probably would have brought something.
How's the Minnesota spoon, Sisa? Is it good?
I haven't seen it. It's not in a part of town I drive by, so
Still
sure
scooping that
fine.
cherry, I think it was. Yeah.
Still doing that. Still exists.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.